What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 39 and we started to do some stuff on the back of our big win over Arsenal. 6-point gap on the Red Devils top of the table, but I'm still thinking about who's in 5th right now. 7 points clear of Liverpool, 4 games to go. We know destiny in our own hands and Champions League within our grasp. I don't think Manchester United are going to lose their remaining games and we're going to win ours as well. Still, we start this off by extending the contract of Alex Mineton. Very briefly on this, out of contract at the end of the season, I decided to keep him here even though he doesn't play much and he's just a squad player. And you know, here's the reason why I decided to do this. Now, obviously every now and then I'll give you my tips on how to make the game more realistic, more immersive, more fun to play. And Alex Mineton is a Nottingham Forest Academy graduate, and he is a player that would be technically considered homegrown and trained at the club. Now, when you're playing European football, you need to register a squad of 25 players, and 4 of which need to be homegrown and trained at the club. So we're not in Forest, we've got Brennan Johnson, obviously. We've got Joe Worrell, club captain. We did have Ryan Yates, but of course now we've sold him. But we have Rodri Brown coming through, and the other would now be Alex Mineton. So it's just a very simple way to make your career mode more fun is think about what happens in real football. And you don't have to play the game as realistically as this if you want to, but I definitely encourage giving it a go. If you're playing in a European competition, make sure 4 of your players are academy graduates or players that you signed early enough so they've been with you and are now considered homegrown and trained at the club. Mineton is one of those players, and again, it's just a nice way to keep the saves more realistic. Makes it a little bit more challenging and it makes it a lot more fun as well. So here we go, this is it, first game of today's episode. Europa League semi-final against Atalanta in Bergamo. Yep, coming into the game on great form right now. We brushed aside Porto in the quarters, we brushed aside Club Brugge in the round of 16, but now the Italians in the final 4. Tell you what, I was feeling pretty nervous. I had a really sluggish start to the game as well. I looked at the team heading into the game and I thought, you know what, I think we're slightly better. I think we're slightly better, but not by much. I need to take my chances, because I knew this man would take one if he got one for the Italians. Luis Javier Suarez, a star of my Granada team in my La Liga career mode, opens the scoring and gives the host the lead with his 7th in the competition. And we fall behind. And I'll be honest here, away in Bergamo, first leg, I was poor. I was really poor. I had a couple of great chances, both falling to Curtis Jones. He's been one of my best players recently. But I fluffed my lines with him twice as we were still down by a goal. We were facing the prospect of trailing at the break in unfamiliar territory. I desperately wanted a leveller to head back into the dressing room with the scores all tied. And his stoppage time in the first half, well, I think my nerves just got the better of me in the first half. Oh my goodness, what on earth was that? How did I mess up that counter-attack? And at half-time, I'd missed 3 chances with Curtis Jones, and we were down by a goal. But I thought, you know what? Don't panic. These are the sort of games when you don't need to change anything. Sometimes when people play FIFA, they can be very guilty of chopping and changing things when they're behind at the break. But if you've played well, keep it as it is. You just haven't had to rub the green, or haven't you taken chances? But you will in the second half, I'm sure of. If you just keep believing, you'll get yourself that goal that you need. And in the second half, it was the same trend. We started off strongly. Marcus Tavernier at the post. I wasn't panicking. I fluffed my lines, but I knew that goal was going to come because we were carving them open. We just weren't putting the ball in the back of the net until we did. 12 minutes after the restart, he just hit the post, and now he's on the score sheet. And Curtis Jones recently has been brilliant, as has this guy. It's taken a long time to get going this season, but Marcus Tavernier in from the Cherries gives us the deserved leveller. And for Curtis Jones as well, this is what I should have done in the first half. Yes, he scored a few goals recently, but he's more of a creator than a goal scorer, and he assists Marcus for the leveller and a chance to get in front. Oh, huge tackle as we kept the pressure on Atalanta, looking to flip the script and turn the game on its head. 25 minutes on the clock. Brennan Johnson sent forward. And when you talk about those homegrown players, captain, fantastic. Worrell on the bench, and when that's the case, Johnson takes the armband, and the skipper puts us in front for the first time on the night, and it was no less than we deserved. And with 15 minutes to go in a sensational second half, I thought we got the goal here. Taiwo's shot cannons off the bar, hits the underside of it, drops down, and after Lingard's pass deflects and comes straight back to him. Well, sometimes luck falls in your favour, and it did here. Jesse Lingard off the bench for Curtis Jones. Playing for a new contract, says Gaffer. I'm not finished yet. Atalanta 1, Nottingham Forest 3, and what a turnaround in the gamma. And I'll be honest, man, I was so pleased I didn't change things at half-time because we were down by a goal. It took me a while to get going, but once Atalanta got in front through Suarez, I got a couple of good chances. I just knew if I just kept on carving over those chances. Look, we got the top scorer in the competition in Taiwo. Didn't score in that game, but did get the assist for Brennan Johnson. Marcus has been great lately. Curtis has been great lately. Brennan is always a source of goals as well. I knew that we would get a goal at some point. I just didn't panic. I just knew that it would come at some point. And again, that's a tip for you guys as well. Like when you are playing a game and you're on top, but you're trailing, don't feel the need to make changes. Like I know sometimes it can be really tempting to look on the bench, see a star striker, like I did with Ivan Toney on Thursday night here in Atalanta, bring him on, get some more pace down the flanks. But if you are getting the chances, you just haven't taken them. Yeah, maybe swap your striker for one striker, but don't change the system, don't change your game plan, don't change your tactics, don't change your play style. If you're getting the chances, just not taking them, then you don't need to change anything. Just trust that you'll get the goal eventually if you keep on attacking. Again, possibly change personnel, but don't change play style or tactics. Always a tip of mine there. If you're on top, but just don't get the rub of the green. Still, following game, Southampton away. St Mary's back in the Premier League after their relegation in Season 1. Heading into this game here, wow. This was a game where Toney could make history. 31 goals in the Premier League and a chance to tie the competition record, which we all believed is going to be broken this year with Erling Haaland. Well, there it is, early on into the game, and what a way to get it. A bicycle kick sees him equal the record. I thought it was offside initially. There's the proof in the pudding actually wasn't. Poor marking and defensive line there allowed Toney to stay onside. And bicycle kicks past Alex Meret to give us the lead. His 32nd goal in the competition. Can I get him to 40? Man, I'd love to do it for just the second time since using him. We're up by a goal. It's the shocker opens the scoring. Shock horror, and then on the hour mark, a chance to make it 2. In a game where I was really in full control of, dominating possession, not conceding chances. I felt we'd get our second goal if I looked to be a little bit more incisive with my passing, which I was. Rodri Brown fires Brennan Johnson, the Welsh lads out of the academy, and it is 2-0 Nottingham Forest. And that point there, I knew the points were in the bad. Saints didn't really cause me any problems whatsoever in the game, and on the break you're a chance to make it 3 later on. Alex Martin just got that new contract, gets away from his man, one-on-one with Alex Meret, taken down by the Italian. He had a really poor game, caught in no man's land for the first goal, and now catches Mighton on his way down as we win a spot kick, which meant this will be it. 12 yards, dead ball. Ivan Toney hasn't missed a penalty since last season's blazed off target error against Sheffield United. And this to set the record. I love the new penalty system. I love it. I really do. Penalties are so much better now. You know, this is the second time this season. I think it was against Manchester United with De Gea, the other one this year, where Toney scored it, where the goalkeeper goes the right way. But because of the power and the accuracy and the timing as well, it proves to be too accurate and too powerful for the goalkeeper to get gloves on. And I love that, I really do. Because in previous versions of FIFA, if the goalkeeper gets the right way, 9 times out of 10, it's saved. 9 times out of 10. And I think this is the reason why penalties were so often missed in the previous few versions of FIFA, because, you know, that would mean you have a 33% chance of the goalkeeper saving it. Now, you might think mathematics, probability, okay, technically there's 50% chance you'll score, 50% chance you'll fail. Right, I should really stop talking now, because me doing maths is not good for anyone, because my maths is terrible. But basically what I'm trying to say is that penalties, I think, were getting saved way too easily, and as I mentioned before, the radius was always way too big for where the ball was going, even for great penalty kick takers. When you've got someone like Toney, who simply never misses a penalty, it's more realistic for him to score even when the goalkeeper goes the right way because of probability. I have to give props to EA for this. Oftentimes, again, we're very critical of EA, and rightfully so, for either the changes that are poor or the lack of changes. I think the new penalty system in terms of the gameplay is a really, really good one. I think it's helped a lot, and it's definitely made it a lot more realistic as well. And I score more, which is always nice too. Anyway, third and final game. This was it. Big winner against the Saints. We know now avoid defeat at Anfield in our first of the final 3 games to come in the Premier League will guarantee top 4. But before we get there, there's a small matter of this. Europa League semi-final, second leg, Thursday night. Atalanta won the first leg 3-1 in Bergamo, and this was the worst possible start. Didn't score in the first leg, but a top scorer of the competition with 13. Well, 13 minutes in, he's down. Taiwo goes into a 50-50 duel. He's not going to pull out. He's a strong lad. Taken down. No foul, clear challenge, but a serious injury. Referee stops play. Taiwo off on the stretcher, and you knew he was done for this season. So we're now missing our best player in Europe this season. The reason why we're here in the semis. We lead by 2 on aggregate, but it's a slender lead. We know it can go quickly, just like that. And 4 minutes before the break, Atalanta are in front on the night. Vitinha with the goal. It's 1-0, and just like in Bergamo, I had a pretty slow start to the game. We were up by a goal on aggregate, but down on the night. And oh, ref, are you serious? I was fuming at this point here. My 1 chance and a half, and the referee blew the whistle as soon as we were going through 1-on-1. No surprise the fans are furious. I ran onto the pitch after that whistle in the referee's ear. I could not believe it. I thought, you know what? Just like in Bergamo, we're down at the break. We can come back like we did in Italy. Second half begins. And get in! 15 minutes after the restart, Taiwo taken down, Dominic subbed on, I made a big call, left Tony on the bench, brought on Solanke, and why is that? Well, Dominic is my second highest scorer in the Europa League. That's his 5th of the competition. It is 1-1, and from that moment there, let's just say it was a gut punch, a sucker punch, and it knocked the stuffing out of Atalanta. After that goal, the Italians did not threaten one bit whatsoever, and his stoppage time, a chance to win the game as well as the tie. Dominic Solanke sent through 1-on-1, puts it in, and that would do it. Bold, cool. Left Tony on the bench. Didn't panic when Taiwo went down. Brought on my second highest scorer in Europe, and he bags the brace in the comeback victory. Just like in the first leg, we come from behind to win it. 2-1 on the night. 5-2 over 2 legs. And it's going to be Nottingham Forest versus Inter Milan in the final. Unlike us, Arsenal lost to the Italian side in their semi-final at home. We are through to the final, but unfortunately, we won't have this man for it. Our top scorer in Europe, 14 goals in the Europa League, not 13. 14 goals in the Europa League, but no more. Taiwo, done for the season with a 3-month injury. He'll miss the Europa League final, which was going to be Taiwo versus Martinez. Well, I've got a big question now. Do I play Solanke or do I play Tony? Even so, Europa League final versus Inter. Before we get there, 3 games to go in the Premier League. We're 6 points behind the Red Devils and have the worst goal difference record. I really don't think we're going to win the title, but 7 clear of Liverpool, avoid defeat at Anfield, and we'll qualify for the Champions League. I'll see you next time very soon, guys. It is the final 3 games of the Premier League where 1 more win gives us Champions League football. Thanks for watching. Much love, and I'll see you for the next episode of Season 3. Later on tonight. Let's do a double episode upload.